What if you could import an XPENG instead of buying it locally? Today we are going to talk with someone from Armenia that did exactly that. So guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Ugo. This is the XPENG G6 Diaries, and today we are going to start a new chapter on this channel. And I would like to call it a podcast, but as I am not experienced on that, let's call it just a conversation with people of interests. And what I mean with people of interest is that just some friends that already are owners of XPeng, or for instance, are thinking on buying or working with XPeng. So we will have just a casual chat. And today, as I said, we have a special guest that it's from Armenia. He reached out to me telling me that he was watching the videos and he got a Chinese XPeng and he wanted to show me the car and differences. And I thought, why not to start this new chapter on this channel with an interview with him. I will start by introducing him. So here is Daniyal. Daniyal, thank you very much again for accepting the invitation to be here with me. And again, I know that this is new for you. It is new also for me. So let's be okay with this and let's just have a little chat. So, Daniyal, can you introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me, Hugo.
Sure.
So my name is Daniel. I live in Armenia for the past 13 years, but I'm originally from Iran and have been working here, studying here since 2012. And currently, I'm just working here and I'm as a developer in an IT company.
Okay, very nice, very nice. And why importing a car? So why import a Chinese car instead of just buying an European car? I know that Armenia, it's not that close to Europe itself, where we have stands here, but why importing a Chinese car?
So basically, the main reason that I imported a Chinese car instead of just buying a European version is that Armenia, being a small country and a developing one, and they don't have that much market going on at the moment because the population is not that huge. So basically, we
Mhm.
don't have that many official sellers of different kind of goods, cars, mobile phones, anything. So we have some of the major brands here, like Mercedes and Toyota, but
Yeah.
like not every brand has an official retailer here. So basically, we're used to importing cars from all over the world. We just import everything that is not in high demand here, so it's not
So
available here.
it's already a normal process there. So
Yeah, it's
importing
something that
stuff, yeah.
has been going on for the past 13 years that I've been hearing, and it's just getting more and more common. And the main reason that I imported the Chinese one is that here basically the options are a bit limited
Yeah.
at the same time because there's not that much demand and you don't have that many options available to you. So basically, you have to go through and see what's available and just choose between them and try to make the best decision.
So basically, as we here also, so of course we have options. We have the dealerships here, so it's easier for us to test cars and then choose the ones that we like. But probably you are going to do exactly the same process as we do. So just search on internet, YouTube videos, reviews, and stuff like that. Make your comparison, make your short list, and then try to decide. But then probably it's harder for you to make some test drives and stuff like that. But how did you come out to Xpeng? So why an Xpeng and not any other brand?
To yeah, basically the main reason I went with Xpeng, one of the main reasons was your videos. But before actually looking on YouTube and find you, I was looking around and trying to see what is available in the market. And as you mentioned, we have limited options. For example, we not all the showrooms offer test drives because the cars they have available, they don't have specific cars just for test drives.
Okay, okay.
So they just import the cars and they try to sell it as new as possible. So they don't want to use the car and let it depreciate and then sell
Yeah,
the
of
car
course. Yeah.
because the margins are not that thick. The margins for them are not thin enough. So basically, here I was just looking around for all the cars that were available. I went and looked at a bunch of BYDs. There's like Hongxi brand here also, and there's like Li Auto here. In the market, there's actually a lot of them here because
So you
in all
even have more options than I have here in Portugal because Li Auto, for instance, I think we don't have it here in Portugal.
yeah, I did a lot of research, and Li Auto is a big player in the ex-Soviet countries.
Okay.
Basically, if you go just look at outside the window, you're guaranteed to see one at least. They have
Okay.
all the versions L6, L7, and L9, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So I took a look around and I found a Zeekr, and I didn't have any experience with Zeekr cars, but BYDs are so common here that you can just ask around and see if they're a good car or not. What was their experience with it? But Zeekr, it was a unique car to me, and based on some research I did online, I figured out it's a good car, and but it's a relatively new brand compared to other brands that are available in China.
Okay.
So basically, I went and found the Zeekr 7 next year. It was in white. Unfortunately, it didn't have that cool light bar in the front. I don't know
Okay.
if images and videos on it. And they say it's an optional, I don't know, couple of $1,000
Okay.
option. Want to get that? That's why they don't get it here, so they can offer the car in a cheaper price. And I went and saw the car, like it was just in the showroom. It was nice. It was roomy and everything was okay. Like a lot of options. They had like these curtains, like sunshade curtains automatically
Okay.
went
Mm-hmm.
like all the options that you might want. I kind of liked the car because it wasn't too small, it wasn't too big. Like some of the I think a Leopard from BYD. I don't know if you uh,
Leopard?
yeah, it's like a sub brand of BYD just for
No,
the
I don't know.
is off-road focused. Yeah, so it's not too big. I wasn't too small, and I kind of liked the car. And the same day I applied for that car with my bank, and the only issue that I had, it was like the car, as I mentioned, it couldn't be test drove. So
Okay.
I was like, I wanted to take the bullet, and I was hoping that everything would be fine. But the main issue that I noticed there was all the infotainment, everything in the car was in Chinese, and I know
Okay.
that's a common thing. But for the BYDs and some of other brands here, they have this conversion tools like this technicians you go to, and they just change the language for you.
Okay.
Uh, Most of the time, the dealer, not the dealer, the showroom slash dealer, they do
Mm-hmm.
it for you. But in this case, the showroom told me that we don't offer it ourselves. We can give you a phone number. It's a technician that we know. He can do it for you, no problem. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna apply for the loan. So the next day, when I was waiting for my bank to just call me back and see what's going on, I just called back to the showroom and I was like, can you give me the number of that technician that you told me
Yeah. So
and that
to prepare yourselves to
make
yeah.
sure, because if someone calls me and says everything's fine, I cannot just be like, okay, because I wanted to be short so I can say, yeah,
Yeah.
just go through with the loan or no. So I called this guy and he was like, yeah, we offer this service. I was like, okay. And he was like, there's a couple of tiers to it. I was like, okay, go ahead and explain,
Mm-hmm.
please. And he was like, the cheapest one is around, if I'm not mistaken, around $2,000 just to change the language to English. 2,800 something dollars just to activate the mobile application as well. If you want the SIM card activated, it would run out to something like 3,500.
Okay.
And I just was talking to the guy and I told him, just out of curiosity, have you done any of this job already with this car? He was like, yeah. I was like, okay, what was your opinion of the car? He was like, it's a good car. Um, there's no much issues with it. Why you're asking this? I told him that I haven't bought the car yet. So
Yeah.
he was okay. I hope you're gonna like the car, but if you change your mind, I actually work in a XPENG dealership here as a full-time job. You can just come here. We have some XPENGs.
Okay. Okay.
I went there and just saw the car. It was a 2024 model, like exactly the same version that you have with the
Okay.
split headlights and
Mm-hmm.
white. I just drove the car. I basically fell in love.
Fall in
I was
love.
just
Yeah.
uh,
I
it
know
was.
that here in Portugal, we I do believe I may be making a mistake here, but I believe that we don't have Zeekr here in Portugal.
Mhm.
But I did already noticed a lot of comments on my channel talking about Zeekr, and from what I understood, they are very similar cars in terms of technology and stuff. And there are many people choosing Zeekr instead of XPeng, and people going from Zeekr to XPeng because they
Yeah.
are really similar, and so they are really big competitors between them. But here in Portugal, you don't have it. So for me, it was even easier to make the decision because it was only about Tesla and Xpeng. So that's okay.
In the Chinese market, you're correct. They're really similar, but the main issues that I had with it was like it was really hard to find information on the cars, like actual English
Yeah.
uh, reviewers, and also the company itself is not actively like officially in other markets. So that was a red flag for me because I'm not sure if they're planning to go outside the Chinese market like Xpeng has. So to me, Xpeng was a more serious company
Yeah.
because they were expanding to Australia, to Europe, and I saw some Instagram reels that they're being really serious in Dubai and Emirates
Hmm.
also. So that, to me, that was a safer choice.
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense. And then so you decided to move from Zikr to Xpeng.
Yeah, I think it was like 8 p.m., so I couldn't call my bank.
Okay.
And when I just drove the car, so in the morning I just called my loan officer and I was like, okay, I've changed my mind. Can I change the car that I'm going to be buying? And he was like, yep, and just do it fast. Just choose. We're going to change the name of the car and the car that you're applying for once we can't do it anymore. So I talked to the showroom and they told me they had some Xpeng G6 and G9s on the way to Armenia and they had a few different models and I went with the top of the line model which is I thought, if I'm not mistaken, 725 kilometer CLTC, which is the Chinese version of WLTP.
Yeah, yeah,
Just
yeah. Hmm. Hmm.
uh, and the real wheel drive, they don't offer the four wheel drive in China, at least
Ah,
not yet.
okay. Hmm.
uh, and the long range version, so the best thing like I could get, and it had this optional 20-inch rims as
Okay.
a gift included. So
And
basically,
then who handled this process? So did you? So he had a dealership from Xpeng there. So he's just a guy that has a store. Let's call it a dealership,
mhm,
official, not official because they are not present officially there, but it's like
yeah,
an importer, right?
yeah, they
So
are the important and they provide service. Also, I'm not sure how like linked they are with Xpeng themselves, but I know they have connections there. If you just go to the showroom, it's written Xpeng up
okay,
there. It's not just a store, and there's like a team of guys. There's like technicians for the mechanical parts. There's technician for the software, and like people, actual sellers, like marketers. Like so they have this whole team. And recently they started importing Li Auto as of I think a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, and they know what they're doing because like when we were talking to them in other showrooms I went to, for example, in people that were saying BYDs, if I wanted to ask them like a technical question, they might not have the answer to it. They would say,
okay.
yeah, probably has the option if I wanted to ask for a specific option, but this guy knew exactly what was going on, like exactly what type of paint was on the car, what you can expect.
So
What,
it's interesting because even though that you don't have an Xpeng official presence in Armenia, and I have in Portugal, the reality is that you have better support in Armenia because okay, we have the sales guys, we have the structure. But for instance, I made the 20K maintenance, and there is still no technicians from Xpeng, and you already have them.
yeah, it's. I think it's the main guy there that I talked to, that actually introduced me to the showroom as well. He is a really enthusiastic person, and fortunately, he speaks good English also. So because my Armenian is not that perfect yet, so we just connected, and he, if you asked him a question, if he didn't know about, he would just pull up his cell phone, and he would just tell me, just in a few hours, I'm gonna give you an answer. And as far as I understood, he had some type of training in China in Xpeng also.
Okay, okay,
He had like this certificate thing in his office from Xpeng. And at the same time, he has some diagnostic tools as well, which is like Tesla diagnostic tool that is like a cloud thing. It's not something
hmm,
that you plug in the car. So the car should be connected to the Wi-Fi and just should be put in a service mode, exactly like what Tesla
okay,
has.
yeah, yeah.
He said he has access to all of that, and he is able to open the ADB on the infotainment also. Like if there was no connection between him and Xpeng, I don't think such things would
Yeah, of
happen.
course. So of course, he probably has that connection, and as then that he is not an official representation, then probably he can do a little bit more or differently than a probable technician here that belongs to Xpeng and
Yeah, he's
that
not
needs to
limited.
follow the rules completely.
Yeah, he's not limited to the.
And what about the time that so from deciding to buy and telling the guy, okay, I want an Xpeng,
Mhm.
how long it took?
So basically, when I saw the car, I told them, okay, which cars you have available, and he just pulled the paper for me, and they had a list of cars, a bunch of G9s and some G6s, And he told me these cars are already on the way. You can just choose which trim you want. It wasn't my choice. They had like this combination of trims
Mm-hmm.
in that paper, and I just found the perfect trim for me, which is a gray color. I just love like gray, as you can see in my photo.
Okay.
And I just chose it, and basically the process started the next morning. And he said it's already in the truck. It's loaded on the truck. It's on the way here. And that day they told me that maximum 10 days, even sooner, it's going to be in Armenia. So I didn't actually custom order it. I just chose one of the cars that they had
Okay.
already. And unfortunately, that took a bit longer because there was some paperwork issues in borders of, if I'm not mistaken, Iran and Tajikistan, because they import the cars from China to Tajikistan, and through all the countries they go to Iran,
Okay.
and then they come to Armenia. Unlike the other brands that they usually get bought in the free zone, a free port in Dubai, before doing any taxes or any import
Mm-hmm.
fees, put them on ships, bring them to Iran and again to Armenia. So the one main difference between XPeng here and the other brands is that most of other cars come from Dubai, the brand new ones.
Mm-hmm.
XPeng brings them directly from China while land to Armenia.
Okay. Very good. Very good.
Yeah, so it was like 15 days to get it in Armenia.
So it's also even faster than here in Portugal, because I got also, my car was already standing here in Portugal. So only the process of registration and stuff like that, it took almost 1 month, and it was already here, and I didn't had any chance to select anything. Even the rims were like that, only one option. And so it's more or less the same. So it's not that big of a problem in terms of time. Very
Yeah,
good.
they
And what
I'm
about
sorry.
customs, registration, costs of importing? Because I believe that you are not buying a car at the price that we love in China, because they are really cheap there. So
Mhm.
how much can you tell us how much it costs to buy a car, a Chinese car
Course,
then?
so my budget was to buy a car was around $40,000. So at the beginning with that Zeekr, they told me it's $42,000. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna push myself a bit, add that 2,000 extra, and buy that car. And after that 3,500, 4,000 that the guy told me that I have to spend on the car, and I was like, okay, it's $47,000 to get the car to a functioning state. But I'm not sure if there's going to be an OTA. I'm going to miss everything. Or do I have to pay 4,000 again? What's going to
Yeah.
happen? So my budget was raised to around $47,000. But for the car itself, everything included from registration. No, from import fees, not registration. It's on registration is on us. Just bringing the car to Armenia and ready to be registered, it was $48,100,
Okay.
which
Okay.
is around the same prices that you have in
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Europe. But as you said, it's not as cheap as it is in China, which is
No.
like $32,000 or something, maybe cheaper at some like lower trim versions. So yeah, and everything was included was 47,000, but for the registration, it's like around $50, and insurance is separate. It
Yeah. Of
depends on what
course.
insurance you, sorry, which insurance you choose. And for the plates, I just had the custom plate made for me,
Yeah.
which we previously spoke about, which you don't have the option there, but you can just choose there's a template, you can choose the numbers and the letters in
Okay.
the,
I think in Australia they can do that also. I
yeah, yeah, and
remember.
it
Yeah.
goes in Emirates, you can just have plate with just one number or one letter there. But
Oh,
here,
okay.
here's the template you have to follow. So there was the only extra things I paid was like a $50 fee for a Chinese virtual SIM card, which
Okay.
they used I bought it for in my own name, so I can register in the Xpeng app. Because the Xpeng app is for the Chinese versions are different than the European versions,
Yeah.
so you have to have a Chinese phone number.
Okay. Okay. Very good.
Mhm.
Okay, so I think it's clear in the import part. I do believe that we got it. Let me try to give you my opinion on the importing part. So uh, I believe that everybody that is in Europe, and I don't know if you saw already some comments on some of my videos, because I do have a couple of guys viewers that are already and every time saying that we are paying a lot because the cars are much more cheaper in China, so we are already paying for everything. So this is more related to the fact that we don't have the Turing chips and the double NVIDIA or NX chips, etc. So it relates to that type of conversation. But the reality, I see that, of course, you have your car with the chips that they have in China. So the hardware, it's like that. But at the end, the price is more or less the same that we have here in Europe. So, but I don't think that the reason to import a car. So if I was now starting to think I want to get an Xpeng, instead of going there to the street right next to my house, getting an Xpeng that it's there, I will go and import one. I don't think that the reason would be to get it cheaper. I think it would be just to get it uh, full hardware blown as we see it in China. But then we will have some differences also in some other topics, because in Europe we have the software prepared for us. We have a lot of different languages here for the infotainment, for the assistants, for everything, and it's adjusted to the market here in Europe, and even adjusted to each individual countries. Because, for
Mhm.
instance, I don't have dash cam in my car, and in Spain, that it's right next to me, they have dash cams. Um, so let's talk a little bit about these differences between the Chinese version of the car and the European. So probably you know better the European version that I know the Chinese version. So go ahead. So in terms of, for instance, let's start by. So I know that you said that you had ADB, so you can in fact sideload apps to the car, right? Here
Yeah,
we currently don't have that opportunity. Tell me, what are the main differences that you found on the cars?
of course. So just let's talk about the ADP part first, because before I got the car, I just searched online and I found some discussions on Reddit that people were saying the Chinese version you can just install whatever you want throughout the infotainment, but that wasn't the case. Maybe that was the older versions of car. And China is everything is locked out, like in European versions. So the guy, the technician, had the ability. I wasn't in the car, unfortunately, to see how he did it. I was just talking to someone in the showroom. When I came back to the car, I saw that he had his laptop open and the car was unlocked, and he was loading some applications for me in the car. And after talking to him, he told me that he has this special access, let's say, that he can do that for me. And he had this like list of predefined default applications that is really useful in Armenia. And he was trying to load those in, and I was like, okay, I'm not Armenian here. I'm
Yeah.
just that lives here, so my needs might be a bit different than yours. For example, he was loading applications that were, for example, radio, like on IP radio that was mostly in Russian, but I don't understand
Okay.
Russian. Like, okay, I want tuning, for example. I want to have tuning instead. So I was just sitting next to him, asking him nicely to install some of the applications I need myself. And he was really busy. Also, there was a lot of people coming to him. And at the end, he was like, "Okay, I think you know what you're talking about. I'm just gonna keep the ADB on lock for you. You can just go home and do it yourself." And
Oh,
and the
good.
ADB has been open since, and there are some limitation. It's not as easy as on your phone, for example, because of the whole OS being a custom OS. For example, you don't have a lot of default Android features that you would have on a phone, even a really simple phone. And there are a lot of security features that Xbank has implemented, as I found out. For example, there's something called, if I'm not mistaken, Phantom Killer, which is like a way that Xpeng controls how many applications you have at this open at the same time, because they are
Okay.
worried that if you have a lot of applications open at the same time, the whole car is going to slow down. For example, you might use your blinker, and it's going to be there's going to be a lag to show the
Okay.
on your infotainment screen, so that can cause some risks. So they wanted to control what is going on. So I found a way around that, but I didn't keep it that way. I could change some settings via ADB, but because I thought that there might be an actual reason that it's there, I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
want
yeah.
to lie
It
to you.
makes sense.
So uh, I installed everything I wanted on the car, so we can just go through with some of the stuff that is different. The main thing that it can be a big deal breaker for, I think, a lot of your viewers also is a map situation,
Mm-hmm.
because you have the European tailored map for your versions, and all the fast chargers or chargers are in that section. So you might be using Android Auto, for example, for most of your
Mm-hmm.
things. Day-to-day life, you're not going to connect your phone every time because Android Auto wireless is cool and all. I've tried CarPlay also, but it just takes a lot of battery, makes your phone too hot. Even if you just keep it in a cold place, it's just too much power usage on your phone. So that map thing, I found a workaround, but it's called Yandex Maps. It's what the ex-Soviet countries use for map. We have Google Maps and everything, but the Yandex Map is the most completed version. Like
Okay. Okay.
you search for, I don't know, any restaurant you want, and it's going to be the most updated. And then the good thing is that it has radar detection built in,
Okay.
so
Mm-hmm.
that you can be sure when you're road tripping or something that you're not gonna get a big ticket. Uh, that was the main issue. I think that's the main issue that people are gonna have
So,
to deal
so
with.
basically, navigation. The base system, of course, is Chinese. So with maps in China,
Hmm.
so not useful.
Hmm.
And then you just had to install your own. So
Hmm.
you had to ADB your own navigation app, but is
Exactly.
then it's not connected to the system of the car, right? So you cannot get the information of yeah. So it's like using Google Maps, but without the information of the car. So you cannot use navigation and route planning with the chargings, etc. So that is a topic, of course. Then what
Hmm.
about the it's everything now in English, or do you still have something in
Yeah, the Chinese version, they come with the English language as an option. Like, it's not an option; it's just in the settings you have to activate it. So it's not something that they have to tinker with. You just go to the settings. You should know where the setting
okay.
is in Chinese and just choose it. There are some small sections that are still in Chinese. For example, I've noticed when you're not looking at the road and it's monitoring you. I did it a couple times to make sure that the feature works. So when I turned around, I saw that the message that was written on the cluster,
Was it Chinese?
but I understood that it needed my attention.
Yeah.
But the rest of the things are in English. The changelog section in the XOS page for the updates is
Yeah.
in Chinese. The Xiaopan character that comes up, the AI assistant, speaks in Chinese but understands English very well.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, that are the main differences. And also, there are some issues with like multimedia, because as far as I have seen in your videos, it's like you just go to the music section, you just choose what Spotify, for example. If it's not installed, it's gonna install it from the App Store, and you're just gonna have it in the music section. But they have the same options, but all the services that is in the music application is the Chinese ones.
Okay.
So there's no Spotify option or
Okay,
Apple Music.
in the European version, we cannot. It's not all the apps related to multimedia that is going to show up on that music, so they are fixed.
Yeah, yeah.
So basically, it's Spotify, Radio, TuneIn, Amazon Music, and I'm missing one. There is another one.
Apple Music, I think it's not there, right?
No, Apple. I don't think so because Apple Music it's a browser app.
Was it SoundCloud or something?
No, no,
Okay.
but I don't recall what it is. So it's Amazon Music, TuneIn, Spotify, Radio. I think it's there is one more. It's just Bluetooth. It's just Bluetooth. Um, and so that's the only ones. So you don't have those apps. So you had again to sideload those apps, and they
Mhm.
will work as a standalone app instead of
Exactly.
being
It doesn't work.
like tied
Yeah.
in the infotainment
Yeah, it's
system.
not like integrated in the music application anymore. You just have to launch it by
Okay.
yourself and use
Okay.
it. And one more thing I wanted to mention here is, for example, in China they don't have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto,
Okay.
so they have something like called Huawei High Car or something. Is specific for Huawei phones, which, as you may know, they don't have normal Android there. They don't have
Mm-hmm.
Google services there, so they created their own version of Android Auto. I don't have a Huawei phone, so I haven't been able to test that. But there is an application I found. It's called Head Unit Reloaded, and you can just download it from Play Store. I didn't have Play Store, so I had to buy it on my phone. I extract the
Okay.
APK,
And then
side
I
load.
okay.
Yeah, yeah, so that works perfectly. Also, it works with wireless. You just have to do this initial setup, and as soon as you get in the car, I have some X compose set there. So when I get in the car, it's automatically launching that application,
Okay.
turning on the hotspot and the Bluetooth, and my phone connects to that hotspot. It's automatically connecting to the Android Auto. It also supports the wired version. So for long road trips, I just use the wired version because it's less latency and also less battery usage, and my phone stays cooler.
Okay. So I
Well,
understand that it's complex. So basically, again, we are getting the chips, we are getting the best hardware, but at the end, we will have some software issues and situations that we need to handle if we import a car like that. So I can imagine that most of people that are not, let I will call you the same as I call myself, geeks.
mhm.
Um, they will probably have a problem. So I can't even imagine my wife getting a car like that and then ADB stuff and side load and extract APK stuff like that. So it's not useful and it's not easy for a normal person to do it. People with more eager to technology and that understand more these to make sure that the car then it will work, but
Yeah.
even with some problems, because for instance I see a lot of people complaining about route planning and stuff like that, and in that way you cannot even have route planning with information coming from the car. So it's a problem. Okay, but let's now.
For the planning, let me just add this
Yeah, yeah,
uh, alternative versions because the application Better Route
yeah,
Planner.
yeah, of course.
They have a feature that works with OBD.
Yeah.
So you can I
Oh,
actually connected an OBD adapter to the OBD port, and it's connected to the infotainment, and it's getting some information, but it's not going to be as exact as the
yeah.
built-in.
I don't know
It's
if
just
you saw. I did test a better route planner in my channel. I have a video about that, but I connected via eNote. That it's
it's
getting,
not available.
yeah, it's getting that information from that API that they have with eNote. It works well, but it takes time to update. Probably with ODB, it's better because it's probably live, so we probably have that information. In my case, it was like 5 minutes, every 5 minutes or something like that. It was updating. I don't recall the exact number. But let's go for the fun part. That it's of course ADAS and all these AI intelligent stuff that XPeng is known for. And let's start by parking. I will start by this because I already know, because we already talked before, that you have something that we would love to have. That it's
Mhm.
really remote parking, as the pure sense of remote parking. So can you
Okay.
explain a little bit that?
Yeah, of course, I was a bit surprised myself because the car that they actually let me test drove was working exactly the same way that your car has. Because,
Mhm.
for example, if you wanted to do automatic parking, you have to be in the car, just press the button, you stayed in the car. And if you wanted to do the remote parking, you had to choose the parking spot, get out of the car, and keep pushing a button in the application for the car to do the auto parking for you. But when the new version came, and I just got the car, and he told me the new 2025 model doesn't even need you to keep pushing the button. So basically, you just choose the parking spot as you do. And just there's two options. There was an option with the button as you have, and there's the one like fully remote. You just press it and just close the door and leave the car. It's gonna park the car, and after it's done, if you're not close to the car, it's gonna send you a screenshot of the 360 view of the car after it's parked, so you can be sure
Oh,
that you didn't hit anything
okay.
or you didn't
That's
run
cool.
someone over. Yeah, and also has the other option of the when you're coming back to the car on your phone, you can uh, just choose the auto spawn, I think it's called. It's not like Tesla's in the US that is just gonna come pick you up outside
Okay.
the
Okay.
mall
It's
or
not the
something.
summon. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but when you get close to the car, it just automatically comes out of the parking place. It just looks around to see, make sure there's no traffic, and just keeps the car ready for you to just
Okay. Okay.
open.
That is cool. Okay. So a little bit more, some more features that I believe that I don't see why not. So why we don't have that? Well, I can imagine that it's just because of regulations and
Exactly,
laws
exactly.
in Europe. So we need to stay saying the car that we want him to park. It's really stupid, but
There
okay.
might be some hardware related things also because their own 2024 model didn't have this option. Maybe they changed something to be sure that the car can park itself without the presence of the owner. Maybe there might be, yeah. Because the 2024 model that they had here, they didn't have this option either.
Let's imagine as a software developer, you can imagine that you are falsely triggering the button and then it's just an indication that someone is pressing. So we could do it in software saying, yeah, it's pressing. Just do
Hmm.
it. So
I agree.
I believe that it's based on some law in Europe or something like that, that owner needs to keep it controlled until the car is really parked. For sure, it's something related to that. I don't see
I,
any other way. But it's really cool. Do you have custom parking? Because I saw that. No?
I don't have that yet. But
Okay.
the 2024 model had it. The guy showed it to me. He just just on the screen. He just chose a place on the
Yeah.
360
Mm-hmm.
view and parked the car. I'm not sure why it's not present on my car. Maybe I went through all the settings. It's not there. But I wish I had it also. But the thing is, the car learns your behavior because the first time I went to my parking spot, it couldn't recognize my parking spot in the garage.
And now it
But
is.
as I use the car, it's just getting better and better every time. So I think uh, yeah, but yeah, I didn't find the need to do it, but it's a really cool thing to have.
You know that in my parking space, initially the car was not also designing a space, a parking space, because it is not a parking space. In
Mhm.
fact, it's I don't know how to call it.
Driveway, if I'm
Yeah,
not
it's a
mistaken.
driveway from the garage, but now it is drawing a parking space there. I never tried. To be fair, because it is very narrow,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I am a little bit afraid to try it. But now it is drawing. But I am still thinking that it's a flaw and not a
Huh.
feature. Okay, but so I never try it. One day I will take the risk and try that.
Hmm.
And what about the main topic? Hadas. Are
Okay.
you driving alone, like hands on your head and just having fun?
No, unfortunately, that's another difference between uh, having a Chinese car here, because as you may know, in China, even in China, not all the cities are supported
Yeah.
there, and I don't even have the Armenian map in the in the car, so basically that's a no-no for me. Uh, yeah, they told me that the car has the functionality built in, all the hardware, all the software, but it's just if you go to the settings, the whole they call it valet something, and the whole section is grayed out.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
I would love to someday find a way to go and like bypass that because I think it was last week on Instagram I found a guy in Armenia that is activating full autonomous driving in Armenia, which is not supported at all.
Oh,
Yeah, but that's Tesla. There's a lot of them, so there's a lot of
yeah.
people working on them. But we can just hope for that feature.
Okay, so basically you have the same functionalities that we have in Europe, basically ACC and LCC, auto lane change,
Mm-hmm.
but also for the auto lane change, you need to activate it, or if you are in a highway, he is going to do it by himself.
Uh, um, you have to initiate it.
Okay,
Uh,
so it's
link
exactly as we have, yeah.
option like obstacle avoidance thing.
Okay,
I'm not sure if you have that option also or not.
I don't think so.
It says in the description, it says that the car will choose if it needs to change lane in case of some obstacles on the road. But I didn't trust it that much because the car is brand new. I don't want to, oh, no, I didn't want to risk it, to be honest. I'm not
Okay.
saying it's not gonna work, but I just decided to keep that option out for now.
Okay, okay. So basically, it's the same features, but I know, and guys, to everybody that it's watching this conversation, I will be, of course, putting some images and videos that Daniel sent to me of his car and the software, all of that. So probably I have already showed that. But there is a difference on the way that the car is analyzing the streets. So you have a more Tesla thing than we have. So in my, I came to the conclusion that what my car seems to do is something like the cameras are looking to the streets, and then based on what they are seeing, they are picking some predefined images that they
Hmm.
have in a database and just showing that. It's what
Hmm.
I feel. So that's why it's sometimes it seems that the roads are jumping around because it's just pushing some other images. And in your case, it's clearly a camera that it's drawing what he sees in front of it. So
Yeah, and around it, behind it, everywhere.
yeah, so it's like the vision based, as they say. So the XNGP, that it's vision based language that it's creating. It's very similar to what I see in Tesla currently doing, right?
Yeah, correct. Because I just drove a car and immediately I came home and I started researching. So I saw your videos also, but I didn't get to test drive the car again before I actually got the car here and got they delivered the car to me. And I was a bit confused because while I was doing the test drive, when I was looking at the infotainment or behind the dash, I was seeing a lot of like details in the screen. But when I was checking your videos, other people's videos, I was like, "What's happening? I don't remember seeing this."
Yeah.
Because especially if you, if I'm mistaken, please correct me. For example, if you go on the roads that have no markings, the car just flips out. It just creates random
If
roads
you
for you.
Yeah, if you saw my video on the fail in the city, that was
Yeah.
a big topic because many people were complaining that I was doing that video. But the idea of that video was exactly to show that the current system cannot handle that situation.
Mhm.
And yes, so that's why I'm saying that he's trying to pick a random image from the database and trying to put there, because if he doesn't see the lanes they are properly drawn, he will not know if we are in the middle, in the side, or whatever. So it doesn't understand it.
Yeah, because in my opinion about why it's doing that on your cars is, as far as we know, it's an AI doing the whole thing.
Mhm.
So like ChatGPT or any other AI that can hallucinate and just come up with random stuff. I think that might be the case here because it doesn't have enough information to create
Yeah,
image. It just chooses something to show
yeah,
to the
and then
user.
it creates a mess. Yeah, yeah, I believe
Uh,
so. Yeah.
And for in case of my car, you can see in the videos, it just shows all. It's not perfect, of course, but it shows, and you have an idea what's going on. You don't see a template being drawn because you can see that the roads that are being drawn on the screen is exactly what is in front of you. So far, I've been using it more like a mirror
Hmm.
than anything else. I want to see what's happening behind me and what's happening around me. It's been perfect so far, and I really like the feature that shows and alarms you if there's a motorbike
Hmm.
close by you, because that's the scariest type of accident if you get into, because there's
Yeah.
like it's risk. Yeah.
In my car, he also gets nuts with motorbikes and bicycles and pedestrians. He's always complaining about those, and I get it. I think it's dangerous, and it's important that he notifies us. So you have also, for instance, traffic sign recognition. Also, the information on the streets are designed right. So intersections, roundabouts, he gets all of that, right?
Yeah, it gets like sometimes it gets the road signs. For example, it doesn't just see what color is the traffic light. For example, if the traffic light is a turnaround, it
Hmm.
changes the look on the car to a turnaround. It
Okay.
shows like the countdown also there. One more thing that is different than European version is they have the auto reversing functionality on my car. I don't remember exactly what was the speed that you had to drive. If I'm not mistaken, it should be under 15 kilometers per hour.
I
It can
think so.
record up to something like 700 meters or something,
I
something
think
like,
so. Yes.
yes. And I've tried it once at a really tricky parking lot. It was just a small, really thin street, and there was all cars all parking like at an angle throughout the street. I had to
Hmm.
go. It was there wasn't any other way to go. You had to come back. So it was a dead end basically. and I had to drop my friend at the end. And I was thinking, okay, it's night, there's not that much light, it's going to be a problem. But I just put the car in reverse, and I saw the option there, and just perfectly, like almost 300 meters, it reversed back for me, and I
Okay.
didn't. Yeah.
Okay. So a
Then
little
I mean,
bit more advanced. Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
You got it a little bit more. Very good. So, any other limitations? Any other topic that you think that is getting you in problems or not as good as, for instance, in Europe?
there are some things that I can think of at the moment. One is like the LCC option is limited to 100 kilometers per hour.
Oh.
Uh,
Hmm.
yeah, that's a big difference. But for me, it wasn't a deal breaker because the maximum speed limit in Armenia, everywhere in Armenia, like I checked all the roads, it's 100 kilometers per hour.
Okay.
So for me, it's not a deal breaker at all because just it's even easier for me. I can just scroll the thing until the end and just
That's
don't even
it.
need
Yeah.
to look at the screen. Yeah, and that was one part. And the other part is, for example, in Armenia, we don't have that many highways. um, yeah, so there's few because it's a small country, and they are not well lit like in Europe or other
Hmm.
countries because they use those roads a lot on daily basis. Here is just connecting between cities and mostly being used with white trucks or people that have business going around. It's not just for daily commute. So this 2025 version being all vision based at night on a not well lit road, sometimes phantom brakes.
Okay.
So anything on the road, it just wants to stop. So I decide to don't use LCC in a not well lit road. I just drive myself because if it's night, I think it's really good in the morning, but at night I think it
Okay.
just makes me sleepy. It just makes me want to sleep behind the wheel because all the massage seat and the
Yeah.
heat
Yeah.
heat. I just prefer to enjoy the car rather than let it drive me. Uh, so I don't use it that much, but when the road is lit, it's really fine. Also, I think in China they have this thing that the map is connected to the LCC,
Hmm.
so the car has is expecting
More
what's
information. Yeah. Yeah.
so it works better. Maybe it has the same thing in Europe, but for us, because there's no map, it's just doing everything at that moment. So
I don't
yeah,
think that in Europe we have it connected. So for
yeah,
now, because it doesn't even know if you just if you have navigation on and you are just going to turn. If you are on ACC or LCC, it will just keep going in front. So it doesn't even know where you are going.
okay, but I think
So
I have it in China.
that's one of the dangerous parts of using ACC and LCC in a city is exactly that, because the car will be controlling the speed because of the car in front of you. But if the car in front of you just leaves, and if you are going to the side, to left, for instance, the car will just go in front because he thinks that he can go and starts accelerating when you need to brake. So
Exactly.
that's why it's not. You need to have it connected to the navigation so that he knows where you are going. Of course, we cannot expect that the car guesses where you are going. So
Yeah,
it's
it has
normal.
a lot of computing power, but even with all the cameras, there's going to be limitation because it's looking everywhere at the same time.
I will be very honest with you. How I see people driving in the street, I don't trust still self-driving at all for full-blown rollout, because unless everybody is using, and then it's only machines running the cars, I will trust it, because every time that I go to the street and start driving, I see so crazy people outside that I can't imagine that a car will know how to handle all these type of situations. So I don't know. Let's see how this evolves. I think we will have a great time in front of us for this type of technology. We are lucky ones to that we will see it. But I don't know if I will be lucky enough to test it fully, the self-drive from one point to another. I don't know. Let's see. Let's see.
Yeah, it's a scary thing because it's AI, you have to give it some set of rules. But if people are not following the rules,
Yeah.
the car is going to be confused. If they're not using their blinkers and just coming to the road, it's going to be confused. And if there's going to be, I don't know, overpass or something weird that is not available in China, they don't have such things. It's going to
Mhm.
be confused.
Yeah, that's why I say it will take time, and we see that with Tesla. So Tesla, it's very front on that, is very pushy and risky. and we see then there are a lot of accidents because of that, and we need to be careful with that. I know that everybody is eager to have this type of stuff. I do love it. It's for me, I even cannot record what I do sometimes on the highway with my car, because I am afraid that people on internet, on YouTube, my channel would love to see that. But I cannot do that because I know that sometimes I don't even do the right stuff. And but using that technology in the car, and if it is not fully aware and prepared, it can be really dangerous. So
Yeah, yeah, you're exactly right. Because in my opinion, the reasons why this autonomous driving and everything is so successful in the US is because of the huge roads they have there,
yeah, yeah,
and because the cars there are too big,
yeah,
and so the roads are big, and even this is urban areas they have huge roads. That's why it's working out for them. And also in China, in the newly built cities, they have big roads.
yeah,
But for us, our city structures are a lot like Europe.
yeah,
Uh, so we have all these like small streets, and I've seen your videos also. Like you have these roads that are not even asphalt, or like
yeah, yeah,
pa- paved stones or something, and the car cannot be. We cannot be sure that it's gonna handle that because there's no asphalt,
yeah,
uh,
yeah. I
and
agree.
the car is expecting markings there, and yeah. So I think that that's the main reason they are more successful there. I hope we'll live to see those days that you
I
just get
think
in a
so. I
car.
think we will, but I don't know if we will be able to use them at full, but we will see them. At least our kids will be able to do that for sure.
Yeah,
So
sure.
let's close here the topic of the ADAS and the features. And so I do believe that again, it's not only having the hardware. So this is I think this is important for the viewers of the channel that are always complaining that we should have the Turing chips and the Orin X chips. We could have them, but we would not be able to do anything with them if it is not allow it to do that. And you have the full blown hardware, and you are still using more or less the same as us. I would love to see the vision based on our cars, and I do believe that as soon as we go a little bit further with these legislations here in Europe, they will then deploy XNGP, of course, limited as you probably have, but then it will change to this vision based. I am trying to get in touch with XPENG to get more information on that, but still not possible, but I will still push them. Okay, let's go for just a couple of more remarks about this process. So, what about support and service? How are you handling that? Or, of course, you have a dealership, so probably they can provide that to you, right?
Yep. So the car is less than a month old, so I haven't had any reason to
Yeah,
go
of
to
course.
the service center to see if there's any issue. But they gave me they told me that everything that the car needs to be serviced, they can handle it. They told me there is not much to do, and there's like this small oil change that has to be done in 80,000 kilometers interval or something. So it's not major things. And for example, changing the filters of the air intake and stuff like that, they told me that you can come. Gave me a paper that's written like the interval of how
Hmm.
often I have to order. Even I don't know where I put it. I have to find it. But they told me they're gonna take care of everything. And if there is gonna be any parts needed for the car, if it's not a big part, they can just overnight it. By overnight, I mean like fast
Hmm.
aerial directly from China in less than a week. So, for example, if a camera goes bad, or I don't know, small electronic part goes bad, they're gonna do it for me. And if it's a big part, battery or motor or something, God forbid, they're gonna just again, like the car itself, they're gonna just bring it directly from China via land to Armenia, and they're gonna take care of everything.
Yeah, so it's
Uh,
basically the same as in Europe. Yeah.
yeah, that was one of the main reasons that uh, I went with the XPENG here, because these guys actually exist here and they offer these services like the Zeekrs, the BYDs. BYDs are in all the showrooms, and they all say they're gonna provide you service, but it's not possible. I don't think it's gonna be that good of a service because, for example, a showroom is in a mall and they don't have a service center. How are they going to be doing service on a car?
Yeah.
And if you're bringing like 20 different brands of cars, 30 models of the cars, they're not gonna be experts on any of them.
Yeah.
So that's why I went with the XPeng, because they told me I went even to their service room. I saw different parts laid out. They had like some brand new batteries there and everything. So I was like, okay, this is some
You felt
this is
safer. Yeah.
that I have the best chance with. Yeah.
Can you give any advice for anyone that would want to import an Xpeng, or do you think it's worth it? Or if you had the opportunity to get, imagine that you were in my shoes in
Hmm.
Portugal, would
Hmm.
you go for the hurdle to import an Xpeng to get the extras that you have, but
Hmm.
having then the limitations that you also have? Would you do it, or would you prefer to buy an official one in the country where you are?
In my opinion, it just really depends on the person that is buying the car. For me, it was just all of it was fun, because as we talked about the ADB part and all the tinkering with the car, I still just have a laptop in my car. If I want to change something, I just take it out from the back seat and just do something with the car. But if someone wants to have a hassle-free experience, I think it's better for them to just go with the options that they have locally, because everything is just gonna work. You don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah,
But if you are into tinkering with stuff, do crazy stuff like I did, it's just going to be a fun. For me, it's just not the matter of transportation. It's a toy for me right now.
yeah,
So yeah, that's made it really a lot more fun for me to get to do all these things with the car. And for me, I didn't have any more options, because even if I was able to get a car from Europe, for example, uh, the main issue would be just the car would be a lot more expensive for me, because the car is almost the same price there right now, and I had to pay the shipping fee from Europe to Armenia, extra fees in Armenia, so it was just too expensive for me. In my case, it would just made a lot more sense to get the Chinese one. But if people have both options, if they want a hassle-free experience, just go with the official version. But if you're willing to take a risk uh, and to go through all of these fun things, if it's fun for you, I think it would be nice to go with the Chinese versions, if those limitations are not a deal breaker for you.
yeah, yeah. I understand that. I do believe that, and sometimes I play with it, saying that comparing with mobile world, Xpeng is the Android, Tesla is like the Apple, yeah, and this is so people that like to play with. Always was, and I am still an Android user. I had a moment in my life that I had an iPhone, and I really enjoy it for sure. But the reason why I was an Android user was exactly what you said. I'd like to play it. I was installing ROMs, I was installing a bunch of stuff, opening, closing, whatever I could. Now I'm getting old and now I just want it to work. It's
Yeah.
but knowing that it would be possible to do more, even if I'm not doing more, um, it's one of the reasons why I got an Xpeng. And even just comparing the Xpeng in Europe, that it's closed, so there is no ADB, there is nothing like that you mentioned. It's still much more fun because you have Android Auto, CarPlay, external devices. I just got a guy, a viewer, telling me that he got a device that is going to try to connect. I know a Portuguese guy that connected a Raspberry Pi to the
Hmm.
car. So it's crazy the things that we can do even inside the car. And most of the people don't understand when I say that I love my car and I still love it a lot. It's because the amount of time that I stay inside the car, it's crazy. It's crazy. People don't understand that I do a lot of kilometers, but I do spend much more time inside the car stopped than I am driving. And there are so many things that we can do inside the car now. And I remember my previous time that I was just like my phone and TikTok. It's the only thing that I could do. Now I watch YouTube in a big screen. I can watch Netflix. I can watch HBO, whatever I want in my car. Watching IPTV, my soccer team playing while I am getting and going with my kids. So it's crazy good, very good, and I am really happy with that. But I would still, even though that I envy you because you have all that hardware, so you have one step more than we have, so it's
Mm.
just a matter of the software coming to you. In my case, even the software, if it comes to me, I will not have the full-blown hardware. Maybe if XPeng decides to give that as an option, but I would still probably buy an official one.
Yeah, I totally agree because it depends on your needs because you live in Europe and you do a lot of road trips, and the distances are great. So you really need that of flexibility of the
Yeah,
maps and everything that connected to the car, speaking with the car, so you're not gonna be stranded on the road and everything like that. But for my case, I think for an average person or someone that really needs the car, like you cannot just don't go pick your children because the
yeah,
car is having an issue or something. You messed something up in the car and you have to restart it or something. I think the official version makes more sense, but just to import the car to have the hardware only with not knowing what's gonna come in the future, it's like buying a $10,000 gaming PC,
yeah.
but only Microsoft Office on it. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah. True, true. Okay, Daniel, I think we are closing here. I think it was a very good conversation about the car. And just to finalize, let us know what really is having an imported car for you. Uh, are you waking up every day and saying this is great, or do you have fears? Are you worried about that? Tell us.
Um, Based on the last month that I've had with the car, it's like every time I have an opportunity to go out, and because I work from home, I'm just super excited. I'm waiting to get to the garage and see the car, and I have some ex-compos there that is just gonna call me and like welcome to the car and just speaks in the
Yeah,
car. Every like the whole experience is just so fun for me because I enjoy everything that you said because you can do a lot of things in the car. So for the past month, I even went on a lot more road trips because you have all the amenities in the car. Like you have
yeah,
hotspot there, fast internet. So I would just go outside the city, find a cool spot, just work from there. I didn't stay at home. I just took my laptop and just went on not a vacation, just like a trip, a small road trip to be outside the car. And it was really fun for me, and it's fun for me because I have my friends. For example, you mentioned there's more opportunities in the car, more fun to be had. For example, I have a friend that is really a really big football fan. I'm not, but there was like a really important match he wanted to watch, and he was doing it on his phone. I was like, "Why are you doing it on phone? Just open the browser and just
yeah,
uh, open the website that you're watching it." And he was having fun, and I was pleased that he was having fun,
yeah.
and we were having a good time all together. Uh, so far, there's been nothing scary about it. It's just been all good for me.
Very
That
good.
Yeah, if someone is like willing to go through the stress of getting it and be sure that you're gonna like the car because the car is not here, and they like the excitement and the challenge, I think they should go for it. But they need to do a lot of thinking and research before that, so they're not gonna be surprised.
Yeah. Okay, Daniel, thank you very much again for accepting the invitation to be here with us.
Having me.
It was a real pleasure, and I think we managed to give a nice view and a different view of what it is to buy an XPeng in a different way. In this case, importing it from China. So you can see, guys, that it's not all flowers, but it's not a big problem, as you can see. And of course, guys, this is not a video to tell you guys go import cars. Uh, uh, Daniel has a specific situation in Armenia that allows him to do this. And probably myself in Portugal would not even have this opportunity. I know that there are some companies that are doing this already for people, but probably it's not going to be exactly the same experience as Daniel just explained to us. So if you go in that direction, do the same research that for sure Daniel did. So do talk with people, do understand what is the process, what are the costs. You need to understand that the car will come in Chinese, and you need to change software, change languages, process the authorizations so that you have the app working. So all of that, you need to make sure that it will work unless you will have a very big brick outside your house just for a show. So this is it, guys. So I hope you enjoyed the first X talk here in the channel. I think it was cool. And I thank you guys again for your views. And of course, just press that subscribe button, activate that bell so that you are notified for new videos. And of course, leave your comment. Tell us what you think. If you would get these, go on the risk to import a car if there was that possibility for you, or if you don't have any other possibility. And that's it, guys. So thank you very much. Thank you, Daniyal, again for being here. And I will see you in the next one. Bye bye, guys.